On 24th of May 1987, a 23-year-old man in Canada, Kenneth Parks, was sleeping on his sofa in the middle of the night. He had lost all his money in horse racing. He was riddled with debt and had lost his job too. A few hours ago, he fell asleep while watching Saturday Night Live on TV. He planned to visit his in-laws the next day to ask them for some money. But during the night, around 1:30 a.m., all of a sudden, he got out of the sofa and got into his car. In the dead of the night, he drove about 22 kilometers on the highway and reached his in-laws' house. He had a spare key to the house with which he opened the doors and got inside. After that, he killed his mother-in-law and caused severe injuries to his father-in-law. Not only that, confused and covered in blood, he went to the police station and confessed to killing 2 people. He had deep wounds on his hands, but he was not in pain. While being transported to the hospital in an ambulance, he told them where he had kept his murder weapon, the knife. But the strangest part of this story is that Kenneth Parks had no reason to kill his in-laws. During the trial, everyone was shocked to hear his lawyer's defense. They said that Kenneth Parks had committed this crime while asleep. He wasn't conscious, so he shouldn't be punished. Because Kenneth Parks was sleepwalking. Was Kenneth Park really sleepwalking? Is it possible for someone to do this while sleeping? If someone does something like this while sleepwalking, should he be considered responsible for it or not? And the biggest question is, why do some people behave like this while sleeping? What is the science behind it? In this video, let's decode the mystery of sleepwalking. In medical terms, sleepwalking is called somnambulism. It's a type of sleep disorder that occurs during non-REM sleep. Actually, friends, human sleep behavior is broadly classified into 2 parts. One is the rapid eye movement sleep, also known as REM sleep, and the other is non-rapid eye movement, that is NREM sleep. As their names tell you, during REM sleep, our eyes keep moving rapidly. The eyes may be closed, but the eyeballs move rapidly, but not during the NREM sleep. So when we go to sleep, first we enter NREM sleep. NREM sleep can be further classified into 3 stages. During the first stage, we start to feel slightly sleepy. There's a decrease in the ability to react to any sound or external activity. Gradually, the sleep quality deepens, and the stage 3 of NREM is the deepest sleep. In this stage, it gets difficult to wake up a sleeping person. And even if you wake them up, they feel confused and disoriented. After the 3 stages of NREM, a person enters REM sleep, and this is when people dream. At this stage, the heart rate spikes, and the brain becomes relatively more active. The brain starts consolidating memories and processing emotions. This is why we dream. Well, dreaming is a separate and detailed topic. We'll discuss it in another video. But coming back to sleepwalking, it doesn't happen during the REM stage. Sleepwalking occurs during the deepest sleep, stage 3 of NREM. A person might start walking in his sleep. His eyes might be open. He might be reacting to the events around him. It might look like he's conscious and awake, while in reality, all his sensory perceptions are almost inactive. His eyes might be open. He doesn't see things like us, won't be able to smell or hear. He might find his way around due to habit and a few bumps here and there. But in reality, he doesn't think about doing any of this. Quite often, the eyes of sleepwalkers might be rolled upwards, and they have a blank expression on their face. And the most important thing is that everything that happens during sleepwalking is forgotten upon waking up. If a person is woken up during sleepwalking, he remains confused and disoriented for some time. The same behavior when someone is woken up from stage 3 sleep of NREM. Humans have sleep cycles, and we go through all 4 stages in each sleep cycle: N1, N2, N3 REM sleep, and then back to N1. One sleep cycle lasts from 90 minutes to 110 minutes. When you go to sleep, during the first half of the night, the duration of N3 in a sleep cycle is relatively longer, and as it gets closer to the morning, REM sleep starts occupying more time. Waking up from N1 sleep is the most comfortable. When you wake up from N1 sleep, you feel fresh and energetic. But if you wake up from N3 sleep, you will continue to feel sleepy and drowsy. This is the reason behind the advice popular on social media that you should sleep for either 7.5 hours or 9 hours, because most probably this will be the end of the sleep cycle. It's assumed that each sleep cycle lasts 1.5 hours, but this depends upon each person and how long your sleep cycle is exactly. You have to monitor when do you wake up feeling fresh. That will tell you whether you woke up from N1 sleep or some other stage. Coming back to sleepwalking, sleepwalking episodes can last anywhere from a few minutes to several hours. The frequency varies too. Some people get an episode once a month, and some struggle with multiple episodes every week. And it's interesting to note what a person can get up to while sleepwalking. Take the British-Australian artist Lee Hadwin, for example. This guy can paint while sleepwalking. No kidding, this is a true story. When he was 15 years old, he drew 3 paintings of famous Hollywood actresses while sleepwalking. And the strangest thing is that he can't draw anything while awake. He can paint only while he's asleep. There was a similar case in Scotland where Robert Wood gets up during the night to cook. He can cook dishes like omelette and pasta while sleeping. This earned him the title of sleepwalking chef. There have been some famous Indian examples too. Cricketer Sachin Tendulkar used to sleepwalk during the earlier stages of his career. In an interview, Sourav Ganguly said that in the 1990s, when they were roommates in England, Sachin would get up at 1:30 a.m. in the night and would walk aimlessly in the room and then sit in a chair. But the unfortunate thing is that not everyone is as creative or harmless while sleepwalking. Many times people turn violent and commit crimes, like in case of Kenneth Parks in Canada. I'll talk about this later in the video. But first, let's figure out why sleepwalking exists. In India, there are many rumors related to sleepwalking. Some connect it to ghosts. Some say that it's because of memories of one's past life. But friends, the truth is that it has nothing to do with ghosts, past life, or spirits. Sleepwalking is a purely neurological phenomenon. It happens due to the incomplete awakening of the brain. That is, some part of the human brain remains asleep while the other parts are awake. Though the exact reasoning behind why this happens is not very clear yet, but according to the latest scientific research, when the body is preparing to go into deep sleep, when it prepares to transition into the N3 stage, something disrupts this transition. The processes for deep sleep and being awake overlap. Because when someone sleepwalks, the part of the brain that controls movement is awake, while the part controlling consciousness remains asleep. This is why motor activities are possible while sleepwalking. People can walk, sit, stand, and some people can even drive cars, cook, and even paint. This is possible because even without the involvement of higher neural structures of the brain, parts like the brainstem and cerebellum can control complex emotional and motor behaviors. Our autonomic nervous system keeps us breathing without our conscious will, controls physiological functions like the heart rate and digestion. In 2021, there was an interesting discovery about the autonomic nervous system of sleepwalkers. This research found that among sleepwalkers during N3 sleep, the sympathetic branch is less active while the parasympathetic branch remains elevated. This means that the rest and digest responses are activated while the fight or flight responses are toned down. According to some recent studies, sleepwalking in older adults can be a sign of neurodegenerative diseases, such as dementia, Parkinson's disease, or cognitive decline. Another common myth here is that people who sleepwalk walk with their hands raised like zombies. But that's not true. Another misconception is that if sleepwalkers are awakened, they can suffer a heart attack or go into a coma. This isn't true either. But it's better not to wake them up because they will feel confused and disoriented. Globally, about 6.9% people will sleepwalk at least once in their life. Sleepwalking is most common among children, especially males between the ages of 7 to 15 years. Fortunately, most children outgrow this condition. Adults, however, may have faster movements, walking quickly, flopping down, or sudden actions. Genetics plays a huge role. If one parent sleepwalks, the child has a high chance. If both do, the chance increases even further. But apart from genetics, sleep deprivation, stress, sleep apnea, and medications can trigger sleepwalking episodes. Among children, fever or asthma can also trigger sleepwalking. Now let's return to the beginning of the video. The question: if someone commits a crime while sleepwalking, should they be held guilty? In criminal law, two things matter: the act itself and the intent behind it. A sleepwalker's body may commit the act, but the mind is not involved. So there is crime without intent. This was the argument in the case of Kenneth Parks. Medical experts testified that he was sleepwalking. The jury accepted this and he was found not guilty. But this defense is controversial. If accepted blindly, criminals could misuse it. Courts are extremely cautious. For example, in the USA case of Scott Falater, experts claimed he was sleepwalking. But the jury rejected it because he hid the weapon, changed clothes, and his actions seemed too organized. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. In India, the historic case of Papathy Amal, 1957, involved a young mother who jumped into a well with her child. The child died, she survived. She said she was sleepwalking. The Sessions Court rejected the defense. But the Madras High Court later ruled that if true sleepwalking is proven, it can be considered unsoundness of mind under Section 84 IPC. This became a landmark judgment in India. But again, it depends on how much the judge believes the evidence. Sleepwalking can also be dangerous for the sleepwalker. People bump into walls, furniture, or fall down stairs. The biggest danger is falling from balconies. In June 2024 in Mumbai, a 19-year-old boy sleepwalked to his balcony with no safety grill and tragically fell to his death. Sleepwalkers can also walk into traffic or even start driving. If someone in your home sleepwalks, This is not something to take lightly. Securing the environment is the most important step. No sharp objects nearby, safety gates on stairs, safety grills on balconies, child-proof locks on doors and windows. Door alarms or motion sensors can help, and they should ideally sleep on the ground floor. About 7% of the world's population experiences sleepwalking at least once. About 3–4% of adults are regular sleepwalkers, and around 15% of children. But most children outgrow it. If you're a parent, keep the room safe. Use guardrails, lock doors, and windows. Don't wake the child, just guide them back to bed. If sleepwalking happens at the same time every night, wake the child 15 minutes earlier to break the cycle. Adults should fix their sleep schedule, reduce stress, improve sleep hygiene, treat sleep apnea, and avoid alcohol medications that trigger episodes. Sleepwalking is not supernatural. It's a neurological and biological phenomenon. Science is still studying it, but it remains one of the most fascinating mysteries of the human brain.